Ooh, hello, Earth Signs. Happy Wednesday and welcome to your Daily Focus Tarot. So for you today, we have the Prince of Cups and the Tower, and Water Signs just got the Tower too, but in a completely different way, which is very odd, but seems to be happening lately. So the Prince of Cups, this is talking about steady forward movement, making progress with something that is helping to heal you, something that you're passionate about, that you're communicating to somebody, that you're, the way he's holding this cup, maybe you're even offering it. Or maybe you're toasting to your own health, That could very well be. This is very slow progress. You see that the horse is kind of tired. He looks kind of tired even though he's got his arm up. He's just kind of got his clothes all bunched around him. And you see the stagnancy in the water there too, even. So very slow but very steady progress. And it can be a message, something to do with your health or something to do, I'm reading as health. Something to do with your health. And the clarifier is the Two of Pentacles, which talks about, quite obviously, you see, it looks like this one, like she's dancing almost, or like she's walking on eggshells, and she's trying to avoid stepping on where the 8 crosses, where the infinity symbol crosses. She's like got her foot kind of at a weird angle there, and this other foot at another weird angle, like it's this way, kind of the heel is this way, and the other one, the heel is like that way, kind of. It's a very weird move. Why wouldn't you just pick up your foot and leave your heel in the same direction as the knee? Why are you turning it inwards? That actually looks painful. So, this can be talking about juggling priorities with your health or priorities with like time management, like managing the time to go. We all struggle to get time off at work to go to the doctor if you can't get a day off, or you can't get just a couple hours off at work. Struggling to do that, struggling to find that balance with your health, even, between do you work, do you rest, are you getting enough sleep at night, that sort of thing. And if you're not getting enough sleep at night, it can make you feel slow. It can make you feel sluggish and like you aren't making as much progress as you want to. So time management and health, really focus on your health. And that's going to help you decide what to prioritize with this time management, so you don't feel like you're always juggling or dancing or walking on eggshells. The Tower. So this is a card of change. This is a card of even a sudden aha moment. It's an unavoidable change. It's an unavoidable, like the sudden aha moment is unavoidable. Once you see it, there's no way you can unsee it, is what they say. That would be a Tower moment. So it's a definite change, either in the way you're thinking or something physical in your world. To me, it's about what you're thinking, because we have the 8 of Swords. And the 8 of Swords, you see this doorway here that's also an Aleph. It's an A, so it's a beginning, right? And it's an end to being bound and being blinded here. You'll notice it's not quite the same girl, but maybe they're sisters. So this is a way of thinking, and the sword is also about balance. It's about balancing good and evil, not so much balancing health and work, or balancing work and social life, or two people or two jobs. The sword is more about balancing how you look at things, how you think at things, how you think about things, I mean. So the sword, they're all behind her, lined up very nicely, fanned out in a clamshell kind of look. Behind her, she's blinded and she's bound, but she's not that tightly bound. You can tell. And she's down on one knee, and there's nobody guarding her. There's nobody else in the picture. The swords aren't, they're not actively inside her, you know, they're not like stabbing her or anything. The swords are actually behind her, so it's almost like when you look at Eight of Swords like this, it's almost like the swords are in the past. Like the negative thinking is in the past, and the key to moving forward is to taking that blindfold and that bind off, getting up off your knee, and just walking through the door. Walking through this, you know, this doorway that this Aleph symbol is making. And that could be what you have this sudden aha moment about. That the past is in the past, and the way that you've been looking at something needs to be reframed. The way that you've been thinking about it, you can reframe it so you can move forwards. Now, the funny thing, at the bottom of the deck, the Druid craft, and I cut my cards in and I shuffle them before I do this, before I do each reading. I cut them in just randomly into the deck, and then I shuffle the deck. So it's very odd that sometimes I get, I don't usually shuffle them while I'm recording, because sometimes it takes a while for something to flip or fall over or fall out. So the Queen of Wands, this is talking about, it was at the bottom of the deck, and air signs had it in a different capacity, but it's still important here, because it's talking about your creativity, who you are at the core, and using that to grow, using that to become your strength, to stop hiding who you are. So to stop being blinded and bound and living in this past with these negative thoughts. And then we have the harvest, the blessing, the Hanged Man, which talks about, it talks about a sacrifice and setting up routines so that you can learn something new, so that you can develop something new, so that you can get that ability, that language, that communication. And I just saw his toes. Look at that highlight on his toes right there. It almost looks like a wishbone. It's really weird how the pinky is like separated. It's almost like he's got trigger toe in his pinky. But it's also kind of, the highlight looks like a wishbone. That's very weird. But look, there's the mistletoe to be harvested, and there's the scythe to harvest, but it was harvesting wheat and poppies over here. So it was harvesting manna, the bread, the food, the never-ending food of the gods, right? And memory. And it's got those blue little forget-me-nots and blueberries. So this is not just about routine and about sacrifice and harvest. It's also about memory. You see that mistletoe? At the tree. So it goes from summer, the end of summer, this is like August 1st, into winter. So this is like Yule. So like the full moon after December. Because we're going to have harvest moon next month, and then 3 full moons after that is Yule. So the new year. In some traditions. And then underneath the hangman we have, so whatever routines you set up and sacrifices you feel you're making to not harvest things right now, you're going to harvest in the future. I saw 1103, and then underneath the hangman we had 6 of wands, which is victory in terms of your personal definition of victory and success, and 4 of wands, which is marriage, yes, but also happy homecoming, a union, a celebration, a communal celebration of some sort. At the bottom of the Ethereal Visions, the 2 of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles, 3 of Swords, and Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands, strength and growth and transforming and being who you are and not being afraid to show that, because you've gotten this wisdom and you've gone through the door and made the decision. You've unlocked the wisdom from whatever this heartbreak, whatever this in the past that made you unhealthy was. And you've set up the routines, you've used your knowledge, you've grown strong, and you've made the choice. You've made that choice to move on. Have a great Wednesday. I'll see you tomorrow.